Open your eyes.
Welcome to the SwitchClicksPodcast, Episode 7, recorded on September 9th, 2020. My name is Dakota, and today I'm joined by Nathan, and I also have some special guests from the Zelda Wiki Discord server. So the first guest we have today is Angelo.
What up? I'm Angelo. I'm the co-founder of Zelda Wiki. You can fasten your seatbelts. Whatever. Enjoy the flight. Best flight.
And the second guest we have is Callie.
Hi everyone, I'm Callie. I worked at the Zelda Wiki Discord server for a while, and I also work with other theorists with their channel content.
Nice. So both of you have a connection to Zelda, and that's great for the topic at hand today, as Nintendo announced that they have a new game with Koei Tecmo. It's a sequel to Hyrule Warriors, technically, I guess. Probably not in the same vein, but it's Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I think it releases November 20th of this year.
Yep.
And Nathan can take away all the information.
So basically, this is the first ever canon spinoff ever in the Zelda series. There hasn't been one in the past, and that also includes the first Hyrule Warriors game. It takes place 100 years before Breath of the Wild, so basically all those memories that you see in Breath of the Wild, this is when it takes place. And they're going to explain this event more in depth. It surprisingly has a lot more than I thought it would with all this war stuff going on, because I thought it was a little more chill in the sense that there was no war going on, and it was just, let's just get all the champions together and assemble them like a superhero team to fight against Ganon.
Assemble the champions!
Avengers Assemble! And
I watched that movie.
This game, they also worked really closely with Nintendo, as opposed to the previous Hyrule Warriors game. They even worked with Eiji Aonuma himself. And I believe this is the first Zelda game to technically celebrate its 35th anniversary, which is actually in, I think, February 21st? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's sometime in February 2021. And this is something that
I think
Nintendo...
it is February, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's probably February. Nintendo also shadow dropped this announcement rather than putting it at the end of a direct, per se. Pretty unusual, but I guess
in general.
That's pretty much this year in general. And it surprisingly works better than I expected. What were your reactions to the trailer, Dakota?
I thought it was really cool. It shocked me for a second because I'm pretty sure I was at work. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. But I usually just find it on my watch whenever they announce something in the morning. I'm a lot more excited for this than I was for the original Hyrule Warriors, only because it's more focused, and also Breath of the Wild is the only Zelda game I've ever beaten. So I really like it. Yeah, I'm talking all these guys.
Oh, man.
And I'm just sitting here with only
fan
one.
right there.
It's okay. I've only beaten like 4.
Well, probably all the main ones. Like, I could probably guess the ones you've beaten. Probably Breath of the
3.
Wild, probably Wind Waker, and the one with the dog, the wolf.
The one with the dog.
Wow!
When I was
great. What a disgrace.
What I was going to say was all the 3D ones minus Wind Waker.
I thought you were playing through that.
I was okay. Fun story. I was, and then I had to go to Chicago for the 4th of July, and some stuff happened up there, and then I got sad. And when I came home, I didn't feel like playing it. And now it's been like 3 months, and I'm just like, I'll get back to it eventually. But I always get up to the same point, which is the Triforce hunt, and then I'm just like, I'm gonna go to bed
Oh,
now.
I hate that part of the game. That's the most time-consuming part of the game, and that's why I originally quit.
And I have it on the GameCube, not the Wii U. But
that's the worst.
anyway, it is. But anyway, my opinion, as you asked. So at first I was like, what's going on? Because I was coming home from school and my phone was, blown up. I had messages from Nathan, from other friends, from my brother, all of whom giving me the same link, and they were like, "You need to watch this. You're gonna love this." And I was like, "What's going on?" And it wouldn't load right because I wasn't home yet, so it was just a blank link. I couldn't see the picture. I was like, "Is it Breath of the Wild 2? Is it or Zelda? What's going on?"
Sense.
And yeah, and then I got home and I saw what it was. I'm not gonna lie, sort of disappointed at first because I don't care for Hyrule Warriors at all. Never played it. Never played any of them. But then I watched it and I was like, okay, this could be cool because it's fun to experience the Calamity firsthand and run through it as if you were really there. It's just what some of the stuff I was curious about is what exactly will be playable, like the final memory that Link receives in that field.
Oh yeah, the battle
like
fort.
will that battle be playable? It's a big one, so it probably will be. But I feel like
one
that
of those that you die in.
yeah, but I feel like it'll take some of the magic out of it in a way, if you guys know what I mean.
Depending on how they handle the game, maybe they'll like limit the player to only using this weapon, and then they automatically start losing health or something like that. Maybe
or maybe it'll just be an infinite swarm of guardians that never ends until you die.
That can make for a pretty interesting survival mode when you think about it.
It would be. I hope they do that. But so I'm reasonably excited because I love lore, especially in fantasy settings. If I spent as much time studying my history textbook as I did, Zelda and Elder Scrolls lore, my teacher would like me. But so that's something that I'm legitimately excited for. But I'm interested in playing this one, unlike the other ones, in which case I'm just like, oh, you get to play as Dark Link, that's cool.
Yeah, the original game was pretty underwhelming, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like, Nathan, you were like really excited for it, and I'm pretty sure the internet pretty much copied what you were saying, that it's big news. I didn't really see why it was so big, but I guess the whole connection to Breath of the Wild is probably just big enough.
Well, it's more like it's the first legitimate, like it's the first relevant spin-off.
I bet people are foaming at the mouth, and anything connected, not even sequel, but also sequel, just fits the bill to be a sequel.
Yeah. I want more Breath of the Wild, give me. I don't care.
Now, before we get any further, what were your thoughts, Callie?
Okay, to be honest, I never played the first Hyrule Warriors. I actually played the Fire Emblem spin-off of it, Fire Emblem Warriors.
Oh, yeah, that one.
But
I barely knew that one.
the moment I saw Mipha, I was sold.
You were sold because of Mipha.
Mipha and Rivali just took my heart. It took a while for me to get actually excited about it, because when I got first texted about it, I was like, cool, okay, because I was busy watching a thing for the Pokemon DLC.
Yeah.
And then I watched it, and I'm like, huh, cool. And then I watched it the second time with my mom, and I'm just like, I need it.
I need it.
I didn't even watch the trailer completely full the first time. I'm like, okay, Hyrule Warriors with Breath of the Wild, great.
Okay, it's done.
Yep.
That just goes to show your dedication to the series, man. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you even doing?
This is why I invited you guys on the podcast. You gotta carry.
Yeah, I figured. You know nothing. It would just be Nathan lecturing you for like an hour.
Pretty much.
But if I may continue, I'm actually really looking forward to the lore that's going to be added into this game, because we had a bunch of really amazing lore in the original Breath of the Wild. To see it more expanded and be able to solve some of the mysteries that have been created from the first Breath of the Wild would actually be really nice.
We wouldn't be running off of speculation at this point.
Yeah. The way I think about it, though, is that some mysteries better remain unsolved. But, with Breath of the Wild, there's some stuff I definitely want to know.
Cough, cough, timeline placement, cough, cough.
And not gonna lie, I could use more baby Sidon.
Dude, how much you want to bet Sidon will be playable? I guarantee you, if he's not, the fans will just boycott the game.
Yeah, we're gonna play the
Maybe,
Baby Sidon.
yeah, Space.
Destroying gigantic
Yes!
gardens.
No, Baby Sidon must be playable. I will not buy if they don't have them. I will just boycott Nintendo as a whole. I'll just stop.
Boycott.
Well,
Raid? No, not boycott. Raid Nintendo.
Yes, and take Zelda while I'm at it.
I will admit the timing and when they're planning on releasing it is pretty interesting because around that time is supposedly when the Pokemon Sword and Shield Crown Tundra is supposed to be coming out. So
Yeah, it's a
you have
little
people
crowded.
who are going to be wanting the new Hyrule Warriors, but you also have people who didn't buy the dual pack for Isle of Armor
Yeah.
wanting to get Crown Tundra.
Also, 28 days before the release of Hyrule Warriors is actually the DLC, the final DLC for Cadence of Hyrule. Actually, yeah, the final DLC of Cadence of Hyrule, which means you only have 28 days to play one Zelda spin-off DLC, and then you have to move on right away to playing Pokemon and Hyrule Warriors.
I thought the
Well-
Zelda community didn't like the spinoff.
Well, it's okay. Like, there's a smaller group that likes it, but the overall like Breath of the Wild fans don't really give a crap about any other Zelda game, unless it helps with Breath of the Wild.
So,
But like,
I have an
for
advantage
the
here.
more, yeah, you have an advantage here. But for the more dedicated Zelda fans like me, I have to spend
The real fans like me.
less than an entire month just to be able to finish this DLC of an already difficult spin-off game. Because Cadence of Hyrule is already like, it's freaking difficult. Unless you know how to read patterns well, or maybe grind the heck out of the game, you're not going to survive that game for more than a week.
I'm a drummer. I'm good at that.
Okay, yeah, you get a
anyway.
different.
Some of what I saw in the trailer kind of reminded me of Fire Emblem Warriors because with the hordes of monsters and anything. So anyone who's played like Fire Emblem Warriors or the previous Fire Emblem Warriors will probably have this
Any hack and
easier
slash
time with
game.
this.
Any Warriors
So-
game, basically.
So, funny story, I didn't know that Fire Emblem Warriors was a thing until 10 minutes ago when she first mentioned it.
What? What?
Yeah! I think I
Disgusting.
heard about it once, and I was like, I don't care about Fire
Okay,
Emblem.
okay.
The crest
I don't
starts
want no
going.
Mars.
I guess
Um,
I guess that's excusable considering Fire Emblem players don't really like this game as much as a mainstream game.
But see, I have a real advantage here because one, never played a Pokemon game. 2, never played Cadence of Hyrule, so I don't have only 28 days to play the DLC. And 3, I don't have a Switch, so I can't play any of them.
Well, I mean, you got Christmas to wait for, or Black Friday to get your Switch.
Yeah, it's true. Christmas.
Christmas. Oh my gosh.
So
I
what,
love how it's
what
just
in the
all
trailer-
Zelda fans, and then you have the one Fire Emblem fan.
So what in the trailer really spoke to you guys? Because I think I have a few things that just I noticed, and I think I looked at some messages in the Zelda Wiki Discord that you guys plucked that whole trailer.
Oh yeah, we were going all out on discussions.
Like vultures.
I ended
Yep.
up having to mute the server just so I could sleep.
Just so I can go
Ow.
to bed. Stop talking, I just want to go to bed.
That bad, huh? That bad.
The server was probably on fire for you guys.
Oh yeah, it was. I was there for most of the day. Surprisingly, it's been a little while since I've actually spent that much time there.
But like what really spoke to me from that trailer, like touched me in like a spiritual level. I don't know. I watched it twice. I watched it once like an hour before this so I could remember. And spoiler, I don't really, but the ending where Zelda says, I must protect everyone kind of had me a little bit curious because it, makes me think maybe we'll get to see in more detail like the exact moment that Zelda goes to fight Calamity again, or maybe that'll even be playable for a small portion, which I think
That'll be
would be
fun.
interesting to see.
I think what
I-
really spoke out to me was seeing all the different characters like their different styles of gameplay. Like Zelda being able to use stasis. That like made me pause the video and sit there being like, what?
Well, I mean that makes sense. Like, what else is she gonna do? Zelda doesn't have a sword. She's gonna pull out like the freaking Bigoron sword.
Well,
Oh my
like
gosh.
Yeah,
Turn us to Sheik.
from her
it
back
kind
pocket.
of messes up what happened in Breath of the Wild, how we had to unlock it.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
But I mean, so it's canon and everything. But I mean, do you really think so? Like the events of the game are canon, but that doesn't necessarily mean everything that happens in it is. Like, can you imagine King Rome just being like, "Okay, Zelda, take the Sheikah Slate and go out and run into the Field of Guardians and
It's dangerous to go
freeze
alone.
that
Take
Lionel
this.
over there." Yeah, right. But only gives her a Sheikah Slate.
I also can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm also excited to find out. Do we get to play Zelda in her royal dress? I have to know this.
Well, it could probably be an alternate costume. I can almost like.
I can imagine it would be.
Guaranteed when you think about it. 'Cause they
I
had
mean,
several costumes in the original Hyrule Warriors, and some of them
and in
were
Fire
just
Emblem Warriors,
insane.
after you get the full Fire Emblem, you get the outfit with the Fire Emblem. You wear the
Yeah,
female character
there's
wearing the Fire
probably
Emblem.
going to be a dress there.
It's not very battle practical, but I guess if all she's doing is fighting with the Sheikah Slate, you don't need that much mobility.
I mean, that's really what we only saw, and that's technically only her special move. Like, we don't know what her default moves would be.
Maybe she can
Rivali
just
in a
shin
suit.
kick everybody else. It's like run up to the Lionel like, go! No! Bad Lionel!
Come to think of it, the fact that Zelda is a fighter in this game basically goes against what Sakurai said about Breath of the Wild Zelda back when he was presenting Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yep. Yeah, actually. Didn't he like specifically say Zelda from Breath of the Wild isn't a fighter?
Yeah. Little did he know this game was going to come out.
Boy, we got him now. We should raid Nintendo.
Yeah, now I'm expecting fans to complain even more. It's like, why isn't Breath of the Wild Zelda in Smash? We need her
We'll
in
be
Smash.
outside Nintendo headquarters, be like,
Breath of the Wild Zelda, Breath of the Wild is the best Zelda game. No other Zelda game matters. Put Breath of the Wild stuff in there.
no other Zelda game matters. Every other game isn't Zelda. See, I only heard of the series with Breath of the Wild. I'm scared to play the other games. I'm not a nerd. Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I like Bokoblins.
Oh my gosh.
You know what would be really interesting?
What?
How many glitches are going to be in this game?
Oh.
Because if you guys remember, Breath of the Wild was full of them.
Any Warriors game is bound to be laggy, considering how many enemies are in the map. And even like the Switch version of Hyrule Warriors did not run well. And that was supposed to be a definitive edition, quotation mark. But it was not, the
It's not
perfect
quite that.
game. It was not perfect, I'd say. There were still parts that lagged like crazy.
It has to run some. It has to run well, and then also the difference between Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity is that Age of Calamity, I'm pretty sure, is going to be pretty linear, and
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild
yeah,
is an open world game, and there's going to be glitches no matter what.
Yeah, I was talking with a friend of mine about it yesterday, a friend on Discord, and he was talking about like he's actually like kind of really pessimistic toward the game. He's like, the only reason I'm looking forward to it is because they can take assets from it to use for a playable Zelda mod. And I was like, oh man, okay, that's all you want.
Wow, okay.
But he was he doesn't want to see like Hyrule's past in a linear sense. He thinks if they're gonna make a prequel, they should make it like Breath of the Wild. But I honestly, I see where he's coming from, but I feel like if they did that, it would be really horrible, especially with Breath of the Wild 2 coming, because then you have 3 versions of Breath of the Wild with 3 different versions of the overworld. And of the same overworld, I mean, we don't know Breath of the Wild 2, but he did say in the trailer that they're working to make the world we explored even better. So,
yeah.
It's gonna be the same world, different game, and even to a smaller extent still with the new Hyrule Warriors game. So really, it's like, ew. A little bit, you.
Yeah. Now the part that interested me the most was seeing how like the champions were struggling to fight. It's almost as if they were actually fighting the blights that we saw in Breath of the
I mean,
Wild. And maybe that is
makes
maybe that is
sense.
the case. Like I did
mean,
see that one thing where Urbosa literally like collapsed or was about to collapse, and that was foreshadowing for some pretty nasty fights, I'd say.
I mean, it makes sense. They all die in the end. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
Spoiler alert. The champions all die at the end.
Spoiler alert. They lose.
Spoiler alert, Link dies, and eventually he wakes up 100 years later.
Spoiler alert, Link dies, and it's his like super estranged cousin in Breath of the Wild that has to take over.
Hey, I just woke up. What do I have to do?
That's why the Master Sword breaks, because it realizes it's not Link, and it's like, who are you?
You know what would be actually pretty cool is if like in the after story they had like 4 separate mini stories going through the different champions like lines and them leading up to them becoming a champion.
That would be really interesting. Like I'd love to see an arrogant Rivali failing to actually be a good person and then actually get some character development there. Or maybe Mipha and Link growing up together.
All I want is more
That'd be cool.
Urbosa because she's like a mom figure to Zelda, and if we can just see more of their relationship grow together than what we saw in the Champions Ballad, that would actually be really nice.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. That's one thing that would be nice to see more of is Urbosa
So
and Zelda.
subtly hinted in the Champions Ballad. Like it wasn't enough.
And what I actually like about this is that fans wanted more story of the champions, and it's nice that they're actually giving what the fans want.
This was something that they essentially dreamed of, but they didn't expect it, for sure.
Yeah.
I myself, I wasn't expecting something like this. Like I kept shooting down any speculation about this, and now I kind of regret it.
See, I
Like,
thought
oh,
about
no,
it before. I've thought about like a Hyrule Warriors game and Breath of the Wild, but since I'm not huge at all into Hyrule Warriors, I thought, they'll probably make an update with like a Breath of the Wild skin for Link, and that'll be it. Now we've got a game.
They gave us an entire game.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Dude,
heck were they doing?
If the old man isn't playable, if like King Rome isn't playable with an old man skin, I'm not buying it. I want to see the old man and Baby Sidon team up and just go at it and slaughter hordes of Bokoblins.
Jeez,
that the world
crazy.
may never overtake them.
Maybe that's why the game's T-rated.
Yes, maybe.
Speaking of which, what do you all think about the T rating in this game compared to the E10 rating of Breath of the Wild?
Well, I just now found out it was rated T for one.
Well, the fact that we're going into like back in time, and we do have to deal with Zelda's jerk of a father, and the fact that we will probably see and I'm going into spoiler territory here, we might see the champions be killed. I can see why they added a T rating.
Dude, that'd be sick though if we get to see him die. That sounded
No, I don't want to see Mipha die.
I wouldn't expect a full-on scene of their deaths, like literally getting, like maybe Urbosa getting electrocuted to death or something like that. But like,
that'd be ironic.
You don't want to see Urbosa get the electric chair?
No one wants to see that. That'll scar them for life. That's like an M rating right there.
What if she needed to park her giant camel and she just gets crushed by one of the legs?
Oh yeah, like what if she won? Like what if she had like her Blight Ganon like defeated, but it like fell out of the camel and she went to stomp on it, but then she like slipped on a mighty banana peel and fell.
Oh man.
Splat.
That just...
Yeah. Oh, that would not look nice at all.
We don't
There's
have
no
to like
gore or
watch her
anything,
fall.
just a flat.
We don't have to watch her fall. We can like zoom out at that point. We'll just see a black dot falling from the camel, and then like a and see like a puff of dust come up.
So
Like one of those
ignoring
cheaply animated
our other
videos.
two
And
more
then it'll
than
play an
bad
ear rape version of the Breath of the Wild game over sound effect.
That.
Nintendo, are you listening?
Nintendo, if
Yeah,
you're
play an
out there,
ear rape
listen, I
version.
know how to make your game successful.
Play an ear rape version of the game over sound. for
You
Breath of the
you know
Wild.
memes? Yeah, do that. People will buy it.
It's weird,
Oh,
man.
this
Because
game.
I'm just like the fact
I-
that, and I'm totally going off topic here. That I'm the
Nope.
only girl on this podcast.
Now, I will say though, this
So
game
another-
is still bound to fall into spoilers for sure. Like we still get to see young Impa and I think young Pyrrha, all the younger versions of some of the characters that we never got to see in the memories. Feel
Older
like
Pyrrha in a way, if you think about it.
yeah, technically yeah, older Pyrrha, technically.
Well,
Wait,
no,
maybe,
not
does that
technically
work?
older Pyrrha. Technically younger Pyrrha, but like in an older body.
Sure thing.
Sure, whatever you want.
Apparently, there were like theories that the whole laugh at the end of the trailer was from Master Koga, young Master Koga.
Oh, that'd
My
be
gosh,
sick.
imagine how badass he'll be.
Wait,
Yeah,
who's
and then
Master
you can
Koga?
fall in a pit too.
Master
Boy.
Koga's the Yiga leader from Breath of the Wild.
Oh yes, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you know the
imagine
fat
him
Santa guy who falls in a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Imagine
When you
him in
said the
his
whole
prime.
part.
Imagine him imagine how strong he'll be in his prime, which would be the Calamity. He'd be devastating, probably ripped.
Probably
like
pretty sexy.
Imagine he's just completely ripped.
completely ripped. Yeah, that's like rehydrated
know-
Ganondorf level.
Oh, dude, I was literally about to say that. I said, so you guys know, and then you said rehydrated Ganondorf, and I was gonna say, you know the rehydrated Ganondorf fan art? Yeah, that. Nice job.
Literally that level of ripped. Oh my god.
See, if we both thought of it at the same time, think about what the devs at Nintendo have thought of. Maybe it'll be like Patrick Swayze.
I actually don't know that.
You don't know who Boy. Okay.
Enlighten me.
He's an actor from the 80s. He's dead now. But
Rip.
he was
I'm
he was pretty ripped. Yeah, the movie Red Dawn. He was in that. Dirty Dancing. Some movie with a weird clay scene.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
So they also announced some type of amiibo support, and then the champion amiibo are going to come back into sales. And then they also gave information saying, hey, there's going to be more information on the 26th of September, I think. And that's during Tokyo Game Show, I believe.
Yep, that's going to be something. That's going to be big.
They could probably just, what I'm thinking, they're just going to show gameplay and
Probably.
the basic idea of the game.
Yeah, I'm assuming gameplay wise, it's similar to what I said
Mhm.
earlier, just Hyrule Warriors with a Breath of the Wild skin, and then they throw
Although-
durability in there and make everybody mad.
That would suck.
That would definitely suck, especially for a Warriors game. Hack and
Oh, yeah.
slash
So
You
like,
can only kill 10,000 enemies.
Imagine you run out and you crack a Bokoblin on the skull, and then your sword just breaks in half. And like that's it, you're done. You have to punch for the
It
rest
just
of the
does
match.
not work. I heard rumors about how they're gonna have like a huge map instead of having like a sequenced dungeon style layout that they had in any other Warriors game.
It'll
Although
probably be a
it's
little
still-
bigger.
Yeah, like based on what we saw, either we're getting a world with invisible walls, or we're just gonna be stuck in locations that are like relatively excusable to have walls. like Castletown, for example. You could have a collapsed road, or maybe like Kakariko Village, landslide.
Yeah.
Anything sort of
I'm
like
assuming what it'll be,
yeah.
like if you're fighting in Castletown, if you try to go to the exit, the gate is just closed because what person in their
Mhm.
right mind would leave the front door open when a bunch of demons are invading?
Or they might surround it with little like high mountains that you can't pass because that's how they did in Fire Emblem Warriors. They raised the
I thought they
ground
did it
level
in
so you can pass.
any game actually.
I'd be kind of
Um,
mad if Hyrule Castle was surrounded by little mini mountains I couldn't walk over, especially because Link in Breath of the Wild, who just woke up from taking a 100-year nap, can climb up a mountain in his underwear. But currently highly trained, peak
highly trained
performance
knights.
Link can't climb up a teeny little hill.
Yeah, apparently.
That's one thing I was wondering though, is if they're gonna incorporate the climbing mechanic in any way.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
I
have to
doubt
wait.
it.
So I doubt it too, but you'll never know. You never know what they can pull off. They did
I feel like they will in limited circumstances. Or
yeah,
maybe not, because then you just be like, why can't I climb over this wall and
like
run
limited
away?
circumstances would make sense because they did use the claw shot in the original Hyrule Warriors. That was a pretty cool mechanic. Which
I have no idea what it was, but I can imagine it would be.
claw shot. It's a claw shot.
No, I know, but I'm saying I don't know what the mechanic exactly was and if it was unique at all. But from what I'm imagining, it is.
Yeah, it basically lets you climb over some ledges that you weren't able to get over normally. That
So
are
it's just
normally
a
like
claw
one
shot.
way. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm expecting something. I'm expecting something to happen similarly here, or maybe like slower walking up a hill if there's an incline or something.
Yeah, maybe what it'll be is they'll just make the climbing mechanic like the same as Breath of the Wild, but make it so you can't leave the battlefield because Link isn't a
What, like put
horrible
up an
person.
invisible glowing wall like in the
Or
final battle?
yeah, maybe, or it would just tell you like, hey, Link isn't a jerk and wouldn't run away from
Or they pull up the excuse
battle.
where it's like you can't go any further.
Yeah,
It's like
it'll
in
be
Breath of the
like
Wild. If you go to the edge of the map,
it'll be the
can't go any
Skyrim
further.
border. It'll just say you cannot go that way, and then you'll be like, okay, and you'll just run in place for a little while and get sad and turn around.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there isn't much else to talk about in that point, unless anybody else had stuff to add.
We've been on first thoughts for like 40 minutes.
Did
Yeah,
anyone
well,
else
whatever.
notice how beautiful the castle looked?
So
yeah,
Oh yeah,
That's
everything
definitely my
looks
favorite
beautiful about
background.
the game.
what I noticed was, this doesn't exactly look like Breath of the Wild. I was looking at it, I was like, it's cell shaded and it's a similar art style, but if you look at it, it almost looks like, I don't know, it definitely looks slightly different. You can tell that it's
It looks
not
more
Breath
like
of the
the
Wild.
2014 trailer, actually.
Yeah,
When you think
in a
about
way,
it.
yeah. Probably because
Like
of how
they
many
have-
NPCs are on the screen at once.
I didn't know the castle had cannons.
Really?
I'm hoping that's the Citadel because I have
Oh,
a personal connection with the Citadel, okay? And I want to go there and I
the
want to see.
Citadel. They're probably
We could
gonna have
battle
a
on the Great
battle
Plateau,
there.
that'd be great.
Oh, I'm sure that they will, but like whenever I think of it, even though it was like a horrific event and like Hyrule's history and so many and like everybody
Citadel
died, I
was
smile.
legendary.
I'm like, yeah.
I mean, like even that book, Creating a Champion, like emphasized so much on the Citadel. Like, oh, this is what happened. It's like, oh, Guardians came through this way, and they were messed up. They got screwed over from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Feeling they're gonna have
There's no fighting those. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you have cannons, dude, you could kill a Guardian. You can blow out a Guardian's leg with like a bomb
If a
arrow.
regular force was a Guardian, then I
You
can't.
telling me the entire Hylian army can't beat a couple Guardians with cannons mounted everywhere?
To be fair, most of them were facing the ocean.
True, because fight off invaders, yeah. But still, what? Hyrule never thought that they'd have like a bunch of their citizens protest and try and overrun the Citadel.
Oh,
Idiots.
No, giant robot octopuses are just gonna do it for them.
The Guardians were an inside job orchestrated by Hylian terrorists.
Pew 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 starts firing lasers everywhere.
Well, there's nobody to conspiracy 100 years later,
As far as you know,
except maybe Impa.
maybe
Okay,
Impa orchestrated all of it. That'd
maybe
be a
some
plot
other
twist.
elders, but no one else. Well, I never said anything about what my first reaction was to this video or to this trailer. But
Dude,
I
we've
will,
been here for half an hour.
but just like
It's
I
fine.
learned my lesson yesterday to never have caffeine and be overhyped with a game. Because
No, dude, that's the best.
I was overly hyped yesterday, and I couldn't sleep until maybe like 1:30 last night or something. And
Dude.
I actually got a nosebleed from something. I don't know, but I got.
You got a nosebleed from the excitement? Jeez, dude.
Apparently, something happened. Maybe I don't know. It was the weather, or maybe it was my excitement or something. I got a nosebleed sometime yesterday just because I was overly excited, and it was so random. Like you could not see how shaky I was yesterday.
Jeez, dude, it's just Hyrule Warriors. Calm down.
It's Breath of the Wild.
Dude, it's Hyrule Warriors with a Breath of the Wild skin, and they say a couple things that we didn't know.
Okay, to be fair, this was a Shadow Drop game, so if it wasn't like if it was like at the end of a Nintendo Direct, I probably wouldn't be as hyped. But
Dude, I can
imagine
you.
Considering they Shadow dropped the announcement, and I just woke up and had my coffee, that was not a good combo. Adrenaline and caffeine don't mix well. It literally.
Dude, no, that's awesome when they mix. It doesn't feel the best, but it's like, yeah. It's like I want to beat somebody.
You know how hard it was to get me to get a caffeine crash from that. Oh, it took me an entire day. I don't want to go through that again. But maybe. But yeah, that was pretty much how my day went after I saw the trailer. Not a fun experience, but at the same time, I
can imagine you in your room like, yes, yes, yeah, and your mom's like, shut up. You're like, it's Zelda, Mom. You don't understand. It's Breath of the Wild.
She knows I'm a fan, so that's fine.
Mom knows I'm a fan. She gets it. Mom indulges in a Zelda or two every now and then. You know, I can't speak for her, but she's dabbled in the arts of an Ocarina of Time once or twice. If I can say so myself.
That's
I think I did see a lot of people were mentioning. What were they mentioning? Something about a battle. And there's a name for the battle. So I don't know where they mentioned that in Breath of the Wild, but this is what people think that the battle that we're gonna be in is gonna be this battle. But I don't remember the name. I can't believe I forgot it.
Battle of Fort Hateno. Hateno, according to some people. I don't know how to pronounce that name.
Battle for Beetle's Bumbling Bazaar.
Genius. That's it. All right.
There were like two major battles, and like I were mentioning about Breath of the Wild, it was either Battle of the Akala Citadel or Battle of Fort Hateno. And the one that the Fort Hateno one was where Link died. Spoiler alert.
I want both.
Zelda also unlocked her powers. If you remember that in one of the final memories of the game, that's where it took place.
See, I want both. I want to see Link die, but I also want to see a bunch of people die in the Akala Citadel.
Just get like massacred by a bunch of guardians while trying to fire cannons that weren't properly aimed.
Yes, Attack on Titan style.
All right. Maybe that's the reason why they have a T rating.
Maybe a bunch of Titans just show up randomly and then disappear, never to be seen again.
I think I saw a comment that said, "Plot twist: it's actually going to be 4 different endings." One where
You
everybody
bring up
dies, one where everybody lives, and then 2 others where other things happen. It's like if they did that, that would just break everything.
that would
Well,
just
now
make
they
and
now
that
they
would just
have
bring in
4
a
other
bigger-
timelines.
Yeah, that would just bring in a bigger timeline debate. We
It's
don't
like,
even have
okay,
to-
guys, we finally fixed the timeline by forcing
By
Breath of the
splitting-
Wild into all of them. So what should we
We're
do
gonna
next?
split it up.
And then the third-party studio making this Hyrule Warriors game is like raises their hand
what's
shyly, like
four?
like I've got an idea, and they're like, what is it? And they're like, what if we you know how we had 3 timelines before and it was like really annoying? And they're like, yeah, and they're like, what if we had like 4?
Let's multiply everything by 4. Now we have 12 timelines in total. Oh my
See,
gosh.
one timeline where Link walked out of the Shrine of Resurrection and fell off the cliff right in front of him. One
just died.
timeline where Link died fighting Calamity Ganon. One timeline where he got food poisoning from a bad mushroom. One timeline.
Dubious food.
Well, I guess every time you die in Breath of the Wild, that's just
You die in real life.
another timeline.
Yes.
Technically, that goes with every game, but people only consider Ocarina of Time to be the one where dying actually matters.
Yeah, right.
Anything
Am I
else
the only
doesn't
one who
matter.
wanted to see the direct aftermath of Link dying against Ganon in Ocarina of Time?
Well, just like imagine it yourself. Well, like
Yeah,
play
but I wanna
Ocarina
see
of
it.
Time. Just play Ocarina of Time and die, and then
Just play
you
Ocarina
imagine
of Time and die, and you got it.
Yeah,
Good.
play Ocarina of Time and die purposely, and then just imagine what happens after.
I have, but I want to see it like in the flesh, dude. You don't understand.
I mean, that's also the same. The same thing goes with the adult timeline. It's like, how the heck do you stay in the future? Like, how the heck do you see the future if you're following Link all the time?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, just
Zelda and time travel don't make sense.
they don't mix well at all, and so does Amiibo and Wolf Link and
Say it with me, everybody. Zelda and time travel don't mix.
all the time travel. So
You could have gone anywhere with that sentence. I had no clue what he was going to say.
If it makes you feel any better, about halfway through it, I was like, I could say something funny here, but I couldn't think of anything in time.
So we're all pretty much excited for this game. I don't know if pre-orders are open, but are any of you gonna buy it day one?
Nope.
Well, I know.
I'm gonna try
didn't you say
to,
earlier you
maybe.
don't have a Switch?
maybe
I don't even have a Switch. I'll buy it even though I don't have a Switch. I'll put make a little shrine. Not based off
Yeah,
of anything from Breath of the Wild, just like a shrine to pray. And just put it there.
to pray for
burn,
Switch.
and burn a little
Depending on the
incense and
price.
just worship the game.
Mm-hmm.
Callie, what were
Callie,
you
how
gonna
about
say?
you?
For me, it's depending on the price, because I also have an Edelgard cosplay to buy.
It's a full price Switch game.
Oh yeah,
$60.
100% is gonna be full price.
No, they
I don't know.
confirmed it.
You're in
al-
America.
They,
It'll
they
be
already
$60
confirmed it.
for you.
They already confirmed it on the site, I think, for
Damn.
digital
That's-
pre-orders.
Dumb.
Well, in Canada, we gotta pay $91. Yay!
Oh my
Ha.
gosh! That's
Get
so
wrecked.
excruciating.
What a nightmare.
America.
I
Well,
might
it's still
pre-order it
equal
or just-
price. The number is just higher.
Yeah,
America.
it doesn't make anything look nice, especially for
No.
a quote-unquote cheaper console. Switch Lite still looks expensive as heck over here. What was it, like $270 here and like 206?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You can get it some places for 170, which is really good.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. I don't like
That's like
seeing a higher
120
price
US.
tag. I really don't like seeing higher price tags.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Angelo and Callie. If you have anything to shout out, you can do that now.
I'm pretty cool. In general. I don't
Damn,
I
what a
don't
shout out.
have I don't have any I don't do anything on social media. I don't have a life. I'm pretty cool though. If you guys want to, think about me after this podcast, you can do that. My address is
Yeah, put personal information here. Yeah.
If you guys want to be friends, my zip code and address are in the description. So is my social security number.
Oh my god.
Please be my friend.
I'm gonna cut you off right there and ask Callie if she has anything.
Check out my Instagram, plain.plays. It's where I mostly post.
It'll be in the description below.
Thank you for listening to the Switch Clicks podcast. Thank you to Angelo and Callie from the Zelda Wiki Discord server for joining us. You can check out Callie's social media in the description below. You can find us on Twitter, Spotify, iTunes, and anything that plays podcasts. See you next time on the Switch Clicks podcast.